Hey everybody out there, my name is Sean Joy, aka Dragnix, and welcome back to The Hunt. If you don't know what The Hunt is, basically it's the games that I played during the week that have significance, whether it be they were first released this week, whether they were on sale this week, or have some kind of newsworthiness to it. Short segments, get right to the point, and let's go and hunt. Burnstar. Bomberman meets puzzle game, which will do well with those who like completionist type of puzzles. Each level consists of several hazards to destroy and stars to collect. Using your limited resources that you have available, whether it be bombs or missiles, you attempt to maximize the amount of damage you can do and things to collect. It's a great balance between a game where it's easy enough to complete a level, but hard enough for you to master in terms of getting 100% in the level. It's the type of game that speedrunners and completionists will love, but it's a shame it doesn't have leaderboards to see who can do the levels the fastest. There's a good mix-up of the levels here, and an introduction of new mechanics in a timely fashion, but the question will be if the 60 levels that you start up initially will be worth the price of admission. The devs on Twitter have said that more levels are coming. In the end, those who want a good puzzle challenge will want to take a look at Burnstar, and it sadly reminds me that we really need a proper Bomberman game. Eron, a cheap platformer that will cause you more frustration than thrills. For the kind of person who loves technical precision, Eron goes one step too far in requiring you to be precise with your timing and platforming as you jump between dimensions. They don't really make it clear what you're doing. It feels like a game of Simon Says more than anything else, as you attempt to systematically approach each obstacle to hit a series of buttons at the right time. It's hard to not look at that aspect entirely either, because it affects everything. You'll die a lot. The music sounds good, but will get rather old rather quickly, as each time you die, the song restarts. There's several design elements here that are off as well, such as the camera that's pulled way too far back to take advantage of the art, or the lack of the in-game natural learning mechanics. It may only be $2, but only hardcore platformers will want to apply here, as the game will just get on your nerves more than anything else. Resident Evil Revelations 2, Episode 4. Now my review will be going up on TechRaptor soon for the entire series, but how was the last episode? Let's just say surprisingly worse than I expected it to be. I really don't need to go on about how the game has disappointed me so much. Any regular viewer of The Hunt probably knows this by now. Just read the review when it comes out this week. It's not worth your time unless you really want to play the raid mode. It's as simple as that. Enemy. A developer key was used for this segment, so keep that in mind. A game that surprised me with its options. Despite the generic title name, Enemy is a roguelike tactical RPG that allows for a variety of different strategies and gameplay elements to allow the player to take on the four major bosses of the Minecraft-like world. There's some deep strategy here, with the ability to allocate action points to interrupt your opponent, the ability to knock down walls and buildings to flank your opponents, to even a morale mechanic that will make a player or enemy run around in a panic if their morale drops to 0. With some frame rate issues and some uninspired sound design bringing it down a little bit, Enemy is the best game I played this week by far, and the one that also surprised me the most. Some clever elements that I didn't even realize I was doing with the first impressions on my channel were there after looking at it again, as the game is surprisingly deep. I didn't even realize that the reason that Dracula died was not me throwing him into a pillar, but the sunlight hitting him. Don't let the Minecraft-like graphics fool you into thinking this game isn't worth your time. What you get is a solid tactical game that will have you figuring out how to save all your party members from permadeath. A great job from a seemingly one-man team, and deserves a real look for those who are looking for tactical combat. You'll run into bugs here and there, but they definitely don't detract from the experience. Definitely worth a pickup. SEAL Team 12. A top-down shooter that's rather cheap, but doesn't do anything special to stand out. I mean, it's functional. There's some good guns and some good power-ups here, but the gameplay becomes too stale rather quickly with the lack of enemy variety, really. The writing never gets to the laughably bad level, with the exception of the death of your companion at the start of the mission that happens almost every time. It's one of those games where it's really hard for me to bring the content out on, mostly because there's not a lot of it that stands out. It's simple, shoot everything dead. It doesn't stand out, it doesn't do anything special, it's competent, but not competent enough to be worth a purchase. Heavy Bullets. Part of the third tier of the weekly Humble Bundle this week. If you're a roguelike or roguelite fan, get the bundle this week as it has a good assortment of solid to superb games, with Heavy Bullets being the star. If you haven't heard of it, Heavy Bullets involve the fact that your bullets are reusable, and you only start with enough rounds that your gun can hold. The game does a great job with the risk and reward mechanics that it plays with, as you attempt to use the limited items that the game gives you as best as you can. While you have imps, sentries, and snakes attempting to kill you around every corner, the ability to bank coin to go for stronger runs is really appreciated, as you can take the game at your own pace that way. Its randomly generated dungeons keep things fresh, despite only having a limited amount of enemy types at its disposal. A reasonable variety of items do exist, however, from homing bombs to running shoes, and the core gameplay keeps you entertained to try to take down its 8 levels. It's a good humble bundle to pick up at its current price. Karate Master 2, knocked down below. It's a mix of good and bad. The combat system here is reasonable. There's a variety of moves and abilities to attack your opponent and defend yourself, but some of the RPG elements of the game work against that, as you level up too quickly at times, meaning your opponents are a little bit of a pushover. The training sequences and the cash making sequences change things up a little bit between the fights, and while the game can get a little bit repetitive, the core combat is a blast, with the ability to target limbs and go for special statuses that you can afflict on your opponent, like a brain shock and breathless. I do wish there was some versus play available, as the technical combat, like I said, is key, and mind games that you can play with your opponent with some of the moves and attacks seems like it would be fun in a competitive way. It's good for some fun here and there, but I do really wish that Karate Master 2 brought some more elements to the table, as its core gameplay is really fun. It's an interesting title to pick up. And that's the hunt for this week. Now, I admit something here. There's something about the hunt that's starting to take a little bit of a toll on me, only because there's a lot to do every week to cut down and make it ready. So I may be skipping a week in the next several weeks just to sort of reset my own fuel tank. Trying to get an idea of at least 7 games a week, enough to write a 1-minute segment about, may seem simple at first, but it's actually quite difficult to sum up some of the complexities of games like Enemy, for example, which has a lot of strategy and gameplay, to try to get it down to a short segment. But I've gotten so much good feedback on the videos that I definitely want to improve it over and over again, hence my concern about my quality suffering lately. Regardless, let's get to the upcoming games for the next week. The big standout this week for releases is, of course, Bloodborne, the PS4 exclusive. After the failing that was the Order 1886 to bring the gameplay experience for the next generation consoles, Bloodborne goes for a Dark Souls experience in terms of difficult gameplay, but changes up the formula a little bit. What's different here is that as you take damage from enemies, your health bar depletes. Playing defensively will mean that health is gone forever, but you can gain it back by launching counterattacks. And the fact that there's procedurally generated challenges can change things up as well. Maybe the PS4 will get its first exclusive that stands out for this year. It comes out to stores on the 24th. Ethereum, which I'm hoping I pronounced correctly, is a real-time strategy in the science fiction universe that comes out on the 25th. What Ethereum claims as its unique selling feature is its dynamic weather system that affects in-game strategy. An in-game hurricane can stop reinforcements coming in, or a new path opens up with a river freezing that troops can now use. I'm not a big RTS player myself, but we'll see if it stands out in any way. Discourse is a game that focuses on the group psychology elements of survival, and it comes out on the 25th. The interesting art style and new take on the survival narrative makes for a game that really interests me compared to other survival games, the group aspect in particular. Definitely playing this one this week. Obsidian Entertainment, the creators of South Park Stick of Truth and Fallout New Vegas, comes out with an RPG in Pillars of Eternity. They've done well in creating games that people loved in the past, and with a lot of different classes and races, let's see if they can keep the quality of their games up. It comes out on the 26th. And the rest of the games that come out this week will be over the next couple of screenshots. I'm just glad that Resident Evil Revelations 2 is over. No, really, I'm glad that it's over. One thing that it sucks when you have a review is the fact that you need to play through it entirely. Yes, entirely. Even if you hate it. But now, I don't have to dread playing that game every week, and can go hunt more interesting games. Also, next week will be zombie-free because I'm really tired of zombies, especially after that game. I'll see you guys later. And again, if you have any comments or any improvements that the show could have, let me know, and I'll try to incorporate them or take a look at them. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Hey everybody, my name is Sean Joy, aka Dragnix, and I thank you for watching. If you do like this video, hit that like button, and if you do want more content like this from TechRaptor, hit that subscribe button. I will be doing content for TechRaptor on Mondays and Thursdays video-wise, and then doing the rest of the week on the video on my own channel. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Also, play more games. Needs more games.